Hey everybody, welcome to Team Time. It is Monday, December 16th, and we love starting with that song. Guess the year in the chat of what year that song came out in. Give a Little Bit is the name of it. And we love that song because that is what we do, right? We give a little bit of our love to our clients, to our potential clients, to the people that we interact with. Okay, we got some guesses coming in, and I'll tell you the first one's pretty close. So keep those guesses coming, and we will tell you the answer. The other thing we want to make sure that you do tonight is register that you're here. So we're going to be popping in the link in the chat so you can let us know that you're here, which we will love. But yeah, so much of what we do as coaches is give our love to other people, but also give our light to other people. And you'll notice Dee and I showed up tonight just like a fluke, but we both have trees with lights in the background, which I just love. So I know that's a big part. And I had a client, one of my favorite clients of all times, tell me, she said, Meg, you're like my pilot light. She's like, whenever I need a little jump start, I know I can go to you. And to be honest with you, I haven't felt like much of a pilot light lately. And so I started thinking about, okay, like, what would I do if my pilot light was out in my house? Like, that's never happened to me, right? But I'm pretty sure I wouldn't just like live my life being cold, right? The first thing I do is I go get some blankets and put on some extra socks, but then I would call somebody, I would reach out for help. So just want to really take a second and congratulate you for being here tonight, because this is also a way we turn our pilot lights on when we show up here on this call. And because we plug into each other, we get fired up by hearing from other people. And I'll tell you, there's a coach on this call right now tonight who has done that for me and for lots of other people as of late, and that is Stephanie Sweeney. So, Stephanie, just want to give you a shout out for shining your light in dark places right now. Would you share with us a little bit of what you shared in our group chat earlier?
Oh yeah. And excuse all the lighting. I am moving around. We have so many people in our house right now. So I was like moving my little portable office everywhere. So the lighting's always different. But yeah, I hear what you're saying, Megan, with Meg, that we were talking about, just feeling like we come here for accountability and guidance and support from each other. And some of us are in smaller groups too, and reaching out for that help, because we can kind of get involved in our own challenges and our own struggles and our businesses going up and down, and um, mostly down for some other people and hoping that they'll be up. And so we were talking about, and we had another coach saying, and she got another client, and she was very excited, but she was also just really nervous and anxious about it, and thanked us for not giving up on her. And it just it kind of took my breath away, because I had felt the same way. I kind of was hiding from this group and from my coaches, and just because my business had gone down, and I thought, man, they're just going to give up on me. Forget it. I'm not hitting that where I was before. And then when she said that, it touched my heart and made me think of like all the clients out there. It's like, yes, we need each other. It feels so good to be validated by all of us that are struggling, perhaps in our business and other things in our lives, and we can have this safe space for guidance and to share. But our clients and other people that are our potential clients need us too. And so I feel like if we can just always remember that, as much as we need each other as coaches, that there's so many other people out there that need us, and perhaps need us even more than we think we need each other. And so just for me saying that to her, I think a lot of times I can give advice, and just like my posts, the posts that I post, the advice I give is really what I need. And if it touches one other person, then that's amazing. So and it's usually just for me to kind of get myself out of that struggle. So take my own advice on that too.
So good, Stephanie. I'm working on that too, taking my own advice. If only we could be better at that, right? I love that we are working on that together. Your quote, as much as we need each other, others need us too, was such a good reminder to make it not about us, right? But to make it about other people. Because I don't know about you, but that gets me more fired up than anything when I am loving on somebody else and serving them. Like when I make somebody else's life even just a little bit better, it makes mine better. So thank you for having your light on and for inspiring us all. And we will never give up on you. And we're so grateful that you joined us tonight. And so if anybody else is out there and maybe you've been hiding, or maybe you're not even here live and you're watching the recording, we want you to know it's okay. It's okay. And also, we have been hearing some questions, and some people, I don't know about you, but as I get older, time feels like this weird thing. And I realized it was exactly a year ago that we started our first installment of No Dumb Questions, which we did a couple of times. I couldn't believe it had been a whole year. It feels like that was like a month ago or 3 months ago. I don't know if I'm the only one, but man, that blew my mind when I realized that. So we wanted to offer up a time for you to ask questions if you have them. Things have been shifting and changing, and I know this time of year is extra busy for all of us. So if you have any questions, we want to hear them. We want to answer them if we can. So pop them in the chat and we'll have time to answer them tonight. But we had another really exciting thing happen over the last week, and that was the launch of the Ascend line for us coaches. So if somebody has tried Ascend and you've gotten your box and all that, if you would come off mute and share with us, what was your favorite product that you tried? We would love to hear from you.
I haven't tried them all yet that I ordered, but I'm trying these sweet chili ones right now, and I like those really good. Really well. I was afraid. I was thinking they were going to be really super spicy, but they're not. It kind of reminds me of when you have the kettle corn, that has the sweet and the salty together. It's what it reminds me of. And then so I've tried the brownie bar, the birthday cake bar, the three different shakes, the strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla, and then the cheesy straws, and then these straws so far. I don't know if I have a favorite because I've just had one of each. I'm just trying them around. And
they're all your favorites.
I like them. I like all of them. I like them all really well. And so it's still a different flavor profile from before. What I really like about it though is there's just such a broad application for them. Because when we went to the thing on that Thursday night and they were talking about all the things, I was like, oh my goodness, this is something that you can use for elderly folks that are not, they don't want to cook anymore, they don't want to do this, they're eating peanut butter crackers and cereal bars, because they don't want to cook, they don't want to do this. Then this Ascend line is perfect for them. It's more compact, powerful, clean nutrition for them.
Wow.
More protein because they're losing muscle because they're not eating very much, and they're losing bone mass in the process. Same, it's applicable to the GLP-1 folks, but it also is applicable to folks that are maybe have had a sleeve before, maybe have had a lap band before, because those people can't eat as much either and need more nutrition. The older folks set, and then also because they may not need to lose any. Some may need to lose weight, but some may not need to lose any weight. But it's just more impactful nutrition. And then and then kids after school. I mean, my goodness, and athletes and stuff. They need more protein. So I'm really thrilled that we have all these different applications for this new line that we can use to help more people.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. And I saw Lori Pulver, you came off mute. Would you share with us your favorite?
I love the waffles, and the pancakes are beyond outstanding. I feel like I'm so addicted. They're so good. I've made them both ways, in pancake version and in waffle form. I've had the birthday cake bar and the brownie bar. The brownie bar is by far my favorite over anything. So of those three items, but the waffle is the waffle and pancakes are the winner thus far.
Awesome. Yeah. And Lori, have you ever had Kodiak cakes before?
I have not. I have not had the Kodiak cakes.
Okay.
Are they similar? I've heard about them.
We don't know. We were hoping you might know. They are delicious. The Optavia Ascend line is delicious. So I would share that. Somebody asked in in the chat how they compared to Kodiak. But I thought they were delicious, and I love that you love them too. That's awesome.
Very hearty. There's like a lot of texture to them, which makes them nice. And I even gave them to my 19-year-old who just got home from college, and I snuck them in on his plate without telling him what they were. And he was
Yeah.
he was a fan favorite, actually. He gave them a thumbs up also. So it's a great way to get so much protein into his diet, because my kids, they just, want all the carbs and the pancakes and everything without any protein in it. So it's just such a nice option to get that increased protein.
Sure, absolutely. And we saw in the chat, so we asked y'all for questions. One of the questions in the chat came from Lucy just now, which, by the way, Lucy just got her box and she loves the brownie. That's her favorite. But she asked if corporate could come up with some sort of variety box, which I think is a brilliant idea. We have a call on Wednesday, which they're going to be announcing some things. That might be something they're working on. If not, we will pass that idea on. But one idea that just came to me was we're going to be getting together January 18th for our call. There's going to be a special call going on with Dr. A, and we're going to get together live for those that are able to, and maybe we bring our Ascend line and people can try different ones that they have at their house. So just thought of that. So passing that over to Dee as an idea. And Dee, do you want to handle any of the other questions that have come through?
Sure. Yeah, thank you guys. And I think that, let's see, somebody asked about asking the question about GLP-1. I think it's a great idea. I think a great thing to say is, what other things have you tried or are you considering trying right now? And you can say, I'm talking to some people who are considering medications, but I think it's a good idea because it's a good idea. Some people may not be talking about it, could even be on it. And so we need to know where they are and their appetites and that sort of thing. And yeah, we can pass along. I know people have asked that all the time about a variety box for even the essential fuelings and things like that. And I don't know why it ever has not come to fruition, but I think it's definitely worth passing on. And Frank, I think, are you referring to leads, people that can sign up? Yeah. So that has been an ongoing issue, and there's pros and cons to all of it. I can tell you that the answer, from what I understand right now, is because when they do the advertising, get somebody to the website, that breakdown of having to get to the coach, if somebody thinks they don't want a coach, they're gonna lose a sale. And so I think that it is about getting the person in, and then hopefully we can convert and take it from there. But we have all expressed from a leadership perspective, I think what you're talking about is they could order the wrong products. They don't get the books. They don't get the different things. And so it's not ideal, but I think it's also kind of a trade-off, but definitely can pursue that. And any of us can write to coach support as well to pass ideas on.
Dee, that happened with our newest client. She didn't understand what she was ordering, and she had been a previous client before, so she knew she wanted the 4-in-2 kit. Well, she doesn't need the 4-in-2 kit, but that's what they suggested for her. And she didn't need the book, so she took it out. She didn't know what the EAAs were, so she took those out, and she didn't get anything. She got 0 benefits for anything. So it took me about an hour on a phone call with support, but I just kept, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? And I was told over and over, nothing. And finally he said, okay, this is what we're going to do. So we had to order her 5 more boxes to get it up to a 5-in-1. And then they credited her $190 and they adjusted her rewards.
Okay.
But it was very tedious, and I don't know that I would have gotten that had I not had the young kid that I did that was so patient.
Well, and thank you for contending for her. That really is showing up in love for somebody else, and good feedback on what can happen when, yeah. All right, we'll continue to pop your questions in there. I wanted to share a couple of things with you guys. We did have a leadership meeting last week, a transformation call. A lot of it was in preparation for the upcoming event on January 18th, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I was waiting and waiting. I was hoping to get the slides for you, but they are, the one thing I can tell you guys is that I've never been more proud to be part of this company and how much the company is working on looking what's going on in the marketplace, looking at not only our marketing, but also our branding, like who are we, what are we communicating, how do we stand out in the market, and what really makes us different. And I saw something the other day, they said, why are we moving into the GLP-1 market? And the response was, and I loved it, it was, you know what? No, we are for people, and the people right now are moving towards the GLP market. So what we're doing is working with the people to provide the tools so that they can achieve optimal health. And I think, you know what I mean? I think it's amazing what the company's doing to work in this expansion of who it is we are. So the question really came up, and they were comparing to different companies, like, okay, you've got Jenny Craig, you've got Weight Watchers, you've got Noom, you've got all these different things out there. How do we distinguish, right? Because it's getting muddled. Noom says that they have coaching, this has coaching, whatever it might be. And what the company has defined is our distinguishing factor is our coaches. It is this right here. It is what we provide for people, because we awaken people, we walk them through this journey. Remember, they don't know what they want. We have a world that is distracted by the urgency of what's going on in the world, and it is our role to help awaken them to what is possible and walk this journey. So the emphasis is on the personal coaching. So, and even the word lifestyle, that has gotten so muddled. What does it even mean? And so they're shifting after was a marketing campaign. Who we are is they're actually shifting away from the word lifestyle to for life. And they have some incredible marketing and tools. They talked about the consumers being on social media, that they just scroll. And they have some really creative and abrupt things that are like to disrupt the marketplace. And I'm just going to wait for you to see it when I can show it to you. But I just want you to know, I am just thrilled. You hear about different things going on in the industry and represent, their consultants or representatives, and what Optavia is us, right? And I don't want you to forget that. So I hope that we'll take our role seriously. We are professionals and we want to show up as professionals. So hopefully you are treating your clients with the utmost care. Shauna, what you did, incredible example. I just think that that's going to be what you continue to see is that culture. They have brought in Bob Heilig from Love, Serve, Grow, just who we are. We've already embodied so much of this, but we just have to remember as individuals to make sure that we are following through. So I want to run through a couple of quick things that I don't want to miss. So give me just a second here. Meg popped up the link. So if you are here, camera on, please register. We are doing 2 drawings this month. It is so fun to give back to you guys who are so committed to showing up. So this is the gift. I actually have it on because I only give away things that I want. So this is the Optavist necklace. So one of the drawings is every time in the month of December that you've been on the call and you've registered, your name is going in the drawing. So it can be in there multiple times. And we're going to do this drawing on December 30th, on the last call of the month of the year. And then for every new client you have this month, because that's encouraging for us to continue to grow with that, you're going to go in, your name goes in there again. And speaking of that, I want to congratulate you guys because we have already on the 16th of the month exceeded how many new clients we brought in all for the month of November. And so you did a great job with the best offer. And so we want to stay strong, continuing. Sometimes we can tend to slow down thinking, well, the special's over, but so many times we know the price doesn't matter to people and they are still making decisions. And we've had lots and lots of returning clients this month. And that's a really positive sign that people know this works and they took advantage of that special. The second thing is the Ascend products that Meg talked about, they were released, and this is all being released to the public on the 26th, which is a week from Thursday. So that you guys are killing it. We're recognizing you for doing the training modules, but everybody who completes those modules before the launch, there's a second drawing. So we've got 2 of these to give away. So Also in January, just some things to save the date and go ahead and register for. We are offering the Power of One Word and Intention workshop that is on January 7th. All of this information is in the group. You can invite your clients to come to this, but this can be a very, very powerful way. We are perfectly positioned right now. I want to touch on it in a minute to how you are going to create your next year with Optavia, and using a tool like this could be very, very helpful. And then on January 18th, we've got the corporate event, which registration is open, of Ignite Impact. And so this is designed, it's encouraged that all of us register for this individually so that you'll have access to the replays. It is designed to create community. And so if you are in an area that you can invite other coaches to be with you, that is encouraged. If you've got somebody who's considering coaching, maybe a client, invite them. And then we are going to do an Atlanta watch party and would love for you to come if you would like to. It's going to be at my house. If we get too big for my house, I can rent my clubhouse. But this goes from 12:30 to 6. And if you want to come in the night before or stay that evening, we've got places for you to stay. But we would love for you to make this an event where you really feel part of our community. So let us know on that. And then the last thing on my slides is the Optivist podcast with Bob Heilig. This dropped today, and I'm just curious if anybody had a chance to listen to it today.
I did.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. It is good. I am famous for using my car as my university. So I got through probably about half of it. I actually came home and started it again and listened because there were so many nuggets. He's got Nick Johnson and Dr. A on it, and they're really getting back to the roots of what it is that we do and how to be successful in this business. And one thing that I really, really, I'm gonna tell you something funny first that I just wanted to say because it struck me. This is unrelated to Optavia, but I was in my networking group last week, and it's not on Apple yet, Lori. It is on Spotify, and I think they said, can't remember the other one, but it's not. They're getting it loaded onto Apple. But so in my networking group last week, we have a business coach, and he was talking about one of the greatest things that hurts businesses right now at this time of year. He called it premature evacuation. Premature evacuation, that we tend to stop this time of year, right? We get caught up in the family things. And again, we do want a business that we center around what's most important to us. But especially in our industry and what we're doing, now is not the time to take our foot off the gas, right? Not to prematurely evacuate, that we actually want to stay in the game right now. But that can be done very strategically if we work with a strategy. And that was something they talked about on the podcast, was having a strategy. And a strategy is a plan and what we're going to do. And they were just talking about the world generally doesn't have a strategy when it comes to their health. They might have a tool like a GLP-1 shot, but they don't have a real strategy. And that's where we step in. And the same thing happens with our business, right? Do we have a strategy for our business? And they talked about today that there are people right now, there are coaches that are having their best year ever. They're having their best year ever. And then there's some of us that might be having our worst year ever. And I love the way Nick phrased it. He said, there's just a story being told there. And the story is, there are certain basic actions in this business, and are we doing them? Are we doing them as a professional would, who would have standards and can, show up, even if that is only giving it 30 minutes a day? And are we doing it consistently? And are we doing it the right way? And so Optavia is doing a lot between the Ascend talks that we're offering and these podcasts to help us know what to be doing and then how to deliver it from our heart in a way that makes a difference to people. So like right now, we've got this huge flood of Ascend products. We could go out and talk about the brownie bar and how delicious it is, but we also want to be talking about the problem that it solves. right? What is it that it solves for people? And so, I did something today about the chocolate shake, but it's about the need for protein. You hear it all the time, right? So talk about what problem is this solving, but coming from it from not a transactional place, but from a place of the heart. And I really loved it because Dr. A was talking about having standards. And he said, we need to be in a place that we look at ourselves and evaluate ourselves and our standards. So if we're struggling with our weight, if we're struggling with being on program, if we're struggling, it's because that's the standard we've set for ourselves. There's some part of us that's letting it be that way. And the same thing for our business. Many of us and I say us because I don't exclude myself from any of this, and I say it purely from a place of love. But many of us have let our emotions drive our business. I have talked to more than one coach. I probably multiple per week who say, you know what, I kind of checked out for the whole summer. I checked out, I stopped doing the things, right? And when we stop doing the things, we're already discouraged. So we stop, right? So we're leading this based on emotion, and then it just becomes this thing. Right. And so Melissa Tarleton in the Ascend talk last week, she talked about these basic things. And I looked at them and I was like, gosh, that's how I built my business. And I stopped, and I'm going to post those in the replay. But just keeping in mind, as all we can do is start right here with where we are, whether it's your personal health, whether it's your business. What happened in the past doesn't matter. And if we're operating out of fear or scarcity, it's only going to hurt us. As Stephanie so eloquently said at the beginning, and Meg, like, we are the light. There are people out there. So if we start with now, with what's our vision, what is it that we want? We do get our joy from impacting others. The questions then become, who do I have to be? What do I have to do in order to have what I have, that I want to have? And so that looks different than what it did. So I just wanted to write those words down: be, do, and have, so that you can be thinking about that. And that would be a really good thing to talk about with your coach. So Meg, I've been talking a lot. I would love for you to open it back up to anything that's been popping in the chat.
Yeah. And I want to reflect on what you just said. Who do I need to be? What do I need to do? And what is the last one? What do I want to have?
What do I have? Who do I have to be? And what do I have to do to have what it is I want to have?
Have what it is I want. Man, that is such good food for thought, I think, for all of us. So thank you for sharing that with us. And it reminds me a little bit of a conversation that I had with another coach earlier today who opened up the new Optavia Connect, and it tells you how many clients that you've impacted so far this year. This incredible coach, like if I told you her name, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But she said, like, man, I was a little disappointed in the number of clients I'd helped this year. And she kind of went down a spiral, so to speak, of like, oh, feeling like a failure. And, as the coach, right, it's so easy to see that in someone else and to be like, well, how else could you look at it? Could you look at it like that even the disappointment that you only helped an X number of people this year, that just means you want to help more than that next year, right? And we could also just be grateful for those lives that were impacted, that will forever be impacted because of the difference that you made. So I think all of this is why it's so important for us to take care of our minds, but also to talk to our coach, to talk to our mentorship team, our accountability pods, whatever you've got going on, like continue staying plugged in because it makes a really big difference. I'm looking through to see if we answered all the questions. It does look like we did. If anybody feels like their question has not been answered, let us know. There were some questions about where to get the Bob Heilig podcast. We know it's out on Spotify now. Julie says she does think she might have found it on the iPhone podcast. So that'd be
awesome.
Cool.
That is good to hear. I wanted to just circle back for a second. I was going to say this before. I was reminded of this in the podcast, and it reminded me of, we've shared this before, but when we it's so easy to go inward, right? Like Stephanie said, like at the beginning, like, and then the example you just gave, like it's so inward to go inward and going, well, wow, that's not what I expected. That's not what I wanted. That's not where and you hear the word I, right? And it's so like we start turning inward to like, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where I used to be. I'm not, and as soon as we do that, we stop showing up, with putting that love and the heart and putting our eyes elsewhere. And I love what you said, Stephanie, like when you needed to hear, like, wow, like they're there for me. Yeah, we are, sometimes, like it's hard to show up. And what I hate is to hear that a coach is not showing up because you think we might be disappointed in you, or you're disappointed and then you're not showing up, right? Where this is exactly where we need to be. And so it just makes me think our clients are out there thinking the same thing. So, something we decided, because we got some feedback, I don't want to miss this before we move over to the watch party, is next week is the 23rd. So we are hitting right up on Christmas. We talked about doing our Christmas party that day, but we know that there are people that have conflicts. So we have elected not to do that. Our gift is going to be spend that time with your family, spend it, doing what you want to do with your business. There is going to be a synergy call, I think on the day after Christmas on the 26th. We will meet on the 30th, but we just decided to give the gift of time for you guys. So no event next Monday night. And anything else, Meg? Did anything else pop up?
Nope. I think we're all set.
All right. Well, like we said, we have our clients now going directly to the Monday night calls. I hope that you're still directing them there, but this has been super useful to us as a team based on your feedback. So give me a second and I will pull this up. And let me stop the recording. I forgot that last time. And if you want to ask any questions, it's just us